Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I received from the 25th dimension in my last qhht hypnosis session. Before I start reading from the transcript of that session, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel, and also please do give a thumbs up to this video and leave me a comment below, because I would love to hear how everything is going with you, how the stuff resonates, if it does, if it doesn't, whatever it might be. We have a beautiful community here. You will notice there is a lot of interaction among the comments, the people that comment below, and I love it. I love that we can talk about things that we might not be able to talk about openly with others out there. So I do love when people comment. So let's move forward. I'm going to start reading. And when I refer to Carolyn, I'm talking about the hypnotist that asked me the questions I had prepared for the session. And when I refer to me, I'm talking about myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers were coming from 25th. All right, let's get started. Carolyn, are angels aware of other realities or dimensions that God has created? Me. Okay, so angels, no. So angels are just like us. Now, we've explained that they are different in the sense that as essence, we're just a different type of creation. But at the end of the day, while not the same energy, again, we're all source, right? So angels are different in the sense, are separate from us, are different from us in the sense that they are just not like us, but they have more of a collective energy than we do. We like to pretend and believe in our separation more. That's pretty much, one of the differences. And they don't create stuff in the matrix like we do. But again, they have their own games that they play somewhere else. But in the other sense, we're all the same because, again, we're all created from source. So they don't have any more knowledge. I mean, they have different types of knowledge, but they don't have more knowledge than we would have. For example, we know of a lot of stuff that's going on here because we created it, and they know of the stuff that they are created elsewhere. But for example, the angels that work, that live, that exist in our matrix, they might not know what's happening somewhere else because, again, it's a matter of focus. Where are they focusing? Where are they focusing on? Carolyn. Why do women have menstruation cycles on this planet? Was this an idea introduced during a reset? And if so, by who and why? Me. So this is how the experience of the bodies here was set up to be with procreation, the way we believe procreation works here with menstruations, etc. So in that sense, it was a rule that we all agreed to. And so it was not part of a reset. And it wasn't like invented, by the dark or to make it hard for women or whatever it is. This was just the way that we decided these bodies were going to function. Carolyn, you told us that DNA is simply a center of energy, but there is talk that these things can mess up our DNA and that people will need healing from it in med beds. Is this because the essences believe they've been affected by the thing? Me. Well, not so much that, of course that too, but the essences specifically don't want to know that they can fix it. They want to believe that they were affected, but they don't want to know that it's all in their head and they could fix it in a second. So that's why they will be put in med beds or whatever they'll be put in. They might be given, it's the same thing that happens here where they give you a placebo, right? You believe that that stuff is whatever you think it is, and it's going to heal you. You're going to make stuff happen. That's the same thing. If the aliens told them, hey, there is a magic shower here, you go in, you come out, and you no longer have cancer. They'll go in the shower and come out and no longer have cancer. Who's made the cancer disappear? Is it the shower? That's the same point. It's all you. We just don't want to remember that it's us doing these things. So we pretend to have a little magic box that makes things happen. Carolyn. Is Star Trek the result of its writers stepping in? Are they from the light or the dark? And what was the purpose of spreading this message? Me. So the people that did Star Trek actually they're telling me they were on the side of the dark. They weren't necessarily the team of the dark, but they were not on the team of the light either. So they were kind of in the middle, but they were tending towards the dark. So they were helping. But what happened is that it was fun. The way that it was showed up, it was fun. These are all things we already are familiar with. We all know this is all real, right? But it was fun too. It was fun. So a lot of us have latched on. I mean, a lot of people love Star Trek, but it was on the side of the dark. And they were trying to give us messages to, of course, they seemed of the light in the sense that they seemed very open and fun. This is how they attract people, right? But they also put in there a lot of dark things. Like, for example, they talk about Q, and they put in there a lot of things that were meant to be scary, so that we do think of the multiverse as being a scary place, and also things that looked ridiculous, so that it does feel like, it can be true. So they're trying to undermine, again, they were speaking to the people who already had that inkling, and they're trying to undermine or reframe the way that you think about it. They're trying to give you limitations within which you can think about that. Whereas if you had no limitation here and you start thinking about aliens, really your imagination would open to anything, but they give you a constraint, basically, right? That's all Star Trek is. Just like any of these movies, they're giving you a constraint. They're telling you, think about these things within these limits. But what happened is that the messages they were getting, because this information is known, so they were getting actual information from higher ups, people that do know what's happening. And so these people were so much tapping in, or they might have thought they were tapping in, but they were actually getting information. So a lot of it was manipulated, It wasn't just coming out of nowhere. Or they might have said, I imagined this. But really, they didn't imagine. It's something that they knew was happening. I've heard people say this about Star Wars too, that some of these things are exactly how things work out there. I can ask, and there was a pause here when I ask, it normally takes me a second or two to get the answer. So how Star Wars? Yeah, same story. So really, normally these are on the side, people on the side of the dark. They're trying to put out to control a narrative. That's why they put out these movies. But of course, they never know. With any idea introduced by any of the teams, my speech to text wrote a random word here. I'm trying to understand And so this is what happens with any of the ideas put out by any of the teams, any of the sides. What you never know is how people are going to react. So a lot of people actually, both Star Trek and Star Wars, not only find it very entertaining, but it's actually helped them open up to this thing. So even though the narrative, just like religion, even though the narrative and the scope of your thinking is trying to be manipulated and limited, the truth is, the second you're saying, now I'm finding, it's always a double-edged sword. Now I'm finding confirmation that other people believe in aliens too, or they would like the idea of aliens. You do start thinking on your own, and all of a sudden you're open up. So a lot of this has actually helped people who are now going to hang out with the aliens, like my boyfriend, for example. My boyfriend loves Star Wars, Star Trek. And so guess what? When he has the aliens pick him up, he's not going to have a heart attack. He's already thinking, yeah, sure. This is cool. I'm going to be like Captain Kirk. Awesome. And a lot of people will feel like that. This has become a big thing, but it was not introduced by the light. This was actually, again, it wasn't the dark, but it was actually somebody who was trying. It was very much infiltrated. It wasn't meant to be necessarily just a happy thing. And we've had this example given to us before, which I think it was with CBD, where they were saying the idea was actually introduced by the dark, but because people expect to have certain effects from it, then it acts like an idea that was introduced by the light. And so they actually feel better and all that. So again, it doesn't matter what you use, what you latch onto. If the goal of your essence is to have a positive experience, that's what you're going to have. It doesn't matter that it was an idea that might have been introduced by the dark. Carolyn, are dolphins 6D guardians of the earth? Me. So yeah, so dolphins, like all animals, are very high dimensional. So animals are just like us, right? It's just that we pretend not to be here. Animals don't have amnesia, so they're very high dimensional. So dolphins are high dimensional. And are they 60? They're saying some of them are 90. So again, just like us, they're not all the same, right? So are they guardians of this planet? Yeah, just like us. They're saying we're all the same. Of course, they're all on the side of the light. Maybe that's a better way to explain it. So they wouldn't be doing anything to hurt Gaia, for example. So in that sense, they are custodians, like they are taking good care, okay? They're not causing any disruption like we are. But it's not that they are guardians. Like, it almost feels like we're trying to say hierarchy again. There are many of us who are guardians. So it's not, you don't have to be a dolphin to be a guardian, I guess is the point. Carolyn, do elephants keep the heart of humanity beating? Me. So we are all connected. So that's one way of looking at it. But no, it's not just elephants, first of all, and human hearts will always be beating for the simple reason that, again, we are not going anywhere. Now, these bodies, most of these bodies will be left behind too. But no, it's just the way Clea asked that question because she heard somebody say that he connected with elephants and that's how he wants to connect. And that's why he gets these messages. What is he really connecting to? Not only is connecting to us, he's connecting to source because animals are teammates. They're us, they're source. And so what is he hearing? Is that the heartbeat of humanity will never go out because it's the heartbeat of source. Source will never go out. So no, it's not black and white. It's not exactly as described, but it's definitely, this person was definitely tapping into the point, which is we are all connected. That's really the point, the gist of this message. Elephants and us are connected. All animals and us are all connected. We're all one. I thought it was a beautiful message. I loved it. Carolyn, and I apologize for the cat just crashing this video like shamelessly. It's just what it is. He chooses videos that he wants to be a part of. Carolyn, maybe because we're talking about animals. Beautiful. Is it true that animals like sharks are millions of years old? We've only been here 500 years, but you told us that the planet is 9 billion years old. Have they been here longer than us? Me. So animal bodies have been here a long time. And by a long time, it's longer than 500 years, okay? Because 500 years really, even in Earth's years really, is not a long time. Although we really have no conception of time. We don't know what it means. But so some bodies have been here longer than us for the simple reason that, again, these bodies were not here from the beginning, or they were slightly different. When we talk about genetic modifications or changes we really made, these bodies are never prototypes. Oh, I'm sorry. These bodies are newer prototypes than the shark, for example. And so in that sense, there are other animals that have been here longer than us because we really haven't been here that long. These bodies have not been like this for long. Now, NPC bodies have been on this planet longer, but these bodies have not been here that long. And the essences, again, just because sharks were here, the bodies of sharks were here, doesn't mean essences were in here. So all the essences came here at the same time when we decided to come in and populate this planet. We already discussed this. The planet is 9 billion years old, but it was empty for a very long time. And what we mean is empty of essences. And there was something here I wanted to just clarify. Or when they say these bodies have not been here that long, meaning the NPC bodies in general, what we came in and found the first time, they've been here much longer than 500 years. But these bodies, the way that we show up now, these have not been here that long because we have made modifications. Carolyn, some, including NASA, speak of a 6th ascension event going on now. Is this related to our subconscious knowledge of the 5 previous resets, or is it just another idea to scare us? Me. Yeah, it's both. It's another idea to scare us, and it is related to the fact they know about the 5 resets, so their total is 6. They're always trickling information, you see? It's so much easier for something to be connected to something that you already know. Because then you already know, you're like, oh, this is what it means. And I'm sorry for the noise outside. I live downtown, so this happens. So again, They're trying to manipulate the direction in which you're thinking, but based on something you already know, because that's how you believe it. Because if you didn't believe it at all, you'd be like, what the hell are they talking about? But because we do know, we all know about the 5 resets, we all know it. And therefore, when they say the 6th extinction, and of course they don't talk about recess, they say it's been this age, that age, or whatever it is, we can all connect to it because we know they happened. And that's how they try to scare us. So they're saying there's a 6th one. You know, if you want to think of it that way, yes, we are moving on. This is a big reset, right? And then we're laughing. We are resetting, all right. We're moving on, but it's not a bad thing. It's not that we've been told of what we've been told about extinctions. Is it an extinction? It's not at all. Nobody's going extinct here. And that's where they twist the truth. Do you see? The truth is the truth. The truth is there underlying the line, but then they twist it. So that's where the lie comes in. This is not an extinction event. And they were laughing. I was glad to hear this, and I did think it was pretty funny the way that they put it. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.